we saw from In Your Dream last time. He'd come out, shove a wave, take a tower, go back in the jungle. He'd come out at the right times. Gabbi needs to get that movement out here as well for TnC to take it. Still rather unfortunate that they didn't mark their team, but it's fine. Like, their names are tagged up, as you mentioned. But I would still give... I give Team Dog an edge. It's just Afu, Earth Spirit, Abed, Storm. Those are really scary heroes. And I think leaving them in the pool, TnC might be confident, but Team Dog can definitely make something happen with it. Yeah. Look at that.
There you
Southeast
go.
Asian EG. That's it. Hey, maybe we get the EG My Pro Dota 10. He asked for it on Facebook.
Speaking of, John, happy birthday to My Pro Dota. How could we forget? We haven't wished him happy birthday the whole tournament, but a big happy birthday to him. I'm sure he's celebrating somewhere, wherever he is. I believe he's still in Thailand right now, but can only guess. As it is My Pro. He's a man of the world.
That he is. That he is. Still, game number 4. This is strange new territory for us in the best of 5, Mike. We haven't seen this kind of game in almost a year. So we'll see what they can pull out here on TnC's end. Team Dog, they've got these comfort picks, man. Afu, Earth Spirit, Abed, Storm with no instant hacks, but there is a silence, so I guess the DP silence is your biggest bit there. But so many comfort picks coming out. You can feel the confidence here from Team Dog going into this, and TnC gonna have to force something early here. Looks like they will stuffle over these runes.
They're gonna run into Polison. Gabbi gonna give him the hello. It's gonna cop a couple axes, nothing too big, just fine. Now gonna still try and fight this one out. Afu gonna try and get the southern bounty rune, but Tim's is gonna be there, and looks like Afu is gonna try for the roll, and he does get the bounty, but this may cost him his life as the arrow does not connect. Still gonna take a lot of damage out here. Gabbi cutting him off from the other side, but Afu is gonna be able to survive in the end. It looks like he is just going to buy a salve straight off the bat and bring that out on the courier. He does not intend on making the run back to the fountain.
No, and that's perfectly fine. He wants to disrupt this lane, maybe get a pull going as well, just to ensure that Ice has the smooth start. We're not seeing the full creep wave deny, although it looks like he has held long enough that he's probably going to get the range creep as well. So Ice is off to that start he'd like. Of course, when you stack your creeps like this and you've got summons, Febby on the Elder Titan's going to have a good time with his Spirit Harassment, so you will have to watch out for his Stapler hits. 41 damage, and Afu just gets blocked, and he's going to cop some hits here.
As far as Ice is concerned, that's our first problem, John. He's Ice. He's perfectly fine with this. It's like, I'm not getting hit by the Elder Titan. What's the problem? I'm fine. We'll have a look at the other lanes while we still have a chance. Of course, mid lane, Abed and Armel going to be up against each other for the 4th time today. Armel, we talked about it in the drafting phase, but he should have the hero advantage with the DP up against the Storm. We did say that last game with the laner as well, though, and that's kind of the thing, right? He did win out the lane initially, but then Abed just did Abed things and caught up. So we'll see if Armel can get a massive advantage this time around, or whether it's going to be a bit of a similar story. And while I was talking about that, top lane, Tim's almost goes down, but eats a Fairy Fire and does survive. Get a salve out on the courier now, and will be able to just heal himself up. But back to the mid lane matchup, John. Do you think Armel can apply enough pressure here onto Abed?
Well, he's got to be on point with his Spirit Siphon usage. He can clear out the wave fairly consistently with Crypt Swarm, but you have to watch out for when Abed closes the gap and tries to throw off some of his remnants and gets a right-click off. He isn't quite safe as his bottle's not quite there, but Abed does have it already in, so regen's not an issue. Boils down to power rune control. 4-minute mark going to be big for both sides. You would want TnC to pay respect to the fact that the Storm is going to need it a lot more, and throw the supports out. You do have the side lane supports there. I mean, you've got Tim's on his Mirana up top, right? That can alleviate some of that pressure. Of course, speaking of Tim's on that Mirana, they have had a bit of a harder time. Like, Tim's cops so much harassment out from Paulson this time around, is forced to TP home now. But they're doing their job. In Your Dreams, not finding that free farm we saw from game 1. 9-2 so far. You mentioned it in draft, but both cores not having very smooth times in terms of finding last hits. KP and Ice are just really annoying under heroes.
And that's the thing, right? The thing is, though, when you look at the actual heroes themselves, the way I'm kind of looking at this is, if the if the Pulse 3s are going to get so much priority in their lanes, do you prefer the Unlord or do you prefer the Enigma? And just judging by last game, the way Ice played his Enigma, I'd say it's still going to be quite worrying for TnC if Ice is going to have a very free game on the Enigma. That being said, right now he's not. He's 10 and 10, has been focusing a lot on those denies, doing a great job of it. You are going to see KB just pulling slightly ahead in terms of those off-laners right now. I suppose that should probably keep up for quite a while because it's Underlord. That's kind of what Underlord does.
Yeah, it's just a much more consistent wave clear with a Firestorm. Ice is, again, as you mentioned, focusing on this denies. Gabbi is also sort of focusing on denies. He has 9 himself. So overall, yeah, our cores aren't falling too far behind as well. In Your Dreams keeping up with 16 last hits. We are reaching those 4-minute power rings, so, and Abed's not lucky. He's down bot, but it is up top. Armel's going to have a little edge here, and that could hurt Abed if he stays in this lane too long.
He's going to stick around for now, but Armel definitely going to get aggressive, having that power rune up on himself. Abed probably not going to die here, but he's going to take a fair bit of damage. Does have a TP coming in to fill up his bottle thanks to Arfu. In fact, they didn't fill up the bottle, they just gave him a salve. So Arfu probably just wasn't at the fountain at the time. Get the fountain buff. He does give a salve over, and that's just as good for Abed.
Yeah, you are seeing Armel pull ahead in this lane though. 24-9, Abed not too far behind at 21-0, but I believe you have to count a couple of jungle creeps in there. So definitely a better start for Armel. This is what you'd want to see from the DP. Should have a smooth ride into level 6 where he might commit for the exorcism, and that's going to be an important timing for him.
Gabbi might be first blood. Arfu, the one to take it this time around on the Earth Spirit. I thought he may just want to give it over to Ice, but as the Earth Spirit, John, if you get this kind of first blood gold, you are very, very happy. It really sets you up for a nice game. Meanwhile, top lane KP is going to be forced to TP back towards his own fountain. But yeah, back to the Arfu Earth Spirit. I think he's going to be very excited with this bonus gold that just came in. Might even just go for a very quick earn.
He's got the initial gold to start off with if he wanted to go for it. And he's already active on the map. He's just not scared of TPing down mid to help out Abed. He knows the hero he's got to babysit here. Got to ensure that smooth start. A really interesting ward here from TnC. In that ramp, hidden away, tucked away nicely, so they will be able to spot when Abed farms. That does mean Tims can go contest if he wanted to. Paulson's there to cut him off.
He is. Still fighting over these 6-minute power runes. Tims is going to get lucky with the haste, but try and hold on to it. In fact, never mind, he'll just take it as Armel wants to go for a kill attempt. They'll ignore Abed and go after Paulson. It's going to be a very nice arrow coming in from Tims. Armel will be able to finish off the kill with the Crypt Swarm. To the mid lane, Stomp is out. Abed does not have 6 yet. But they don't have the arrow follow-up from Tims. It was on cooldown, and he was out of mana anyway. TnC
top tower is under attack.
To be able to go after that valuable storm kill, but they're still going to be very happy with what they got.
Yeah, I mean, they're pulling ahead in that word slightly. 1k lead coming out here. You're seeing Gabbi really pull ahead in his bot lane now. He's been pretty much left alone in comparison to what In Your Dreams copying up top. His Blade Mail timing's still not going to be too rough, but the Battle Fury timing for Gabbi is going to be on point. So that's something for Team Dog to have to consider. Ice in this lane, he's just focused on farm, and he has pretty much just allowed Gabbi to find equal amounts of farm, so you are giving the troll a bit of a smooth start here if you're not careful on Team Dog's end.
It definitely is a great start here for Gabbi. Malithus going to come out. Going to do too much, just going to be annoying for this troll Warlord. Still going to stick around happily, just making sure Ice can't start forcing in the bot tier 1 tower again. Top lane, we are going to have a rotation out from Armel, and he does have that ultimate available, so he might be just ready to go for that top tier 1 tower. And if they can get this top tier 1 and not allow the bottom tier 1 to go down, they are going to be feeling very, very good in terms of objectives. That being said, Ice is still set up there with Arfu to try and make that tier 1 bot tower push happen. Looks like In Your Dream is also going to stick around at the top tier 1. This could cost him his life. does get caught by a rogue arrow, but
Is under attack.
looks like TnC has already left the top lane anyway.
Ooh, Abed.
What happened, John?
He got rooted twice in a row. It's really unlucky with a double damage in Gabbi. If he got a third one in a row, that would just be very bad luck and a very dead Abed.
Is under attack.
Luckily for him, Gabbi didn't have the battle trance off called, didn't have the mana for it, so
Radiant's bottom tower
he
is
couldn't
under
really
attack.
just secure the kill, I guess. Bot lane, in your dream, joining in there with Ice is going to be able to get the tier 1 tower, and now they want to go after KB. They have that black hole, and they might just commit it, but Febby is there to cancel if need be. He'll pop the Astral Spirit down into the stomp. KB now with no mana. He's just going to run, but Febby is going to go after the Spectre. It's not quite enough damage, though, but KB is going to walk out safe. I say that, the Malefice is there. Meanwhile, Gabbi dies mid lane. The Abed. And KP is going to be fine. Now, Gabbi, very far forward in the mid lane, does eventually get taken out by the Storm Spirit.
It's a big kill for Team Dog to find. They needed to slow down Gabbi. They do somehow catch him out down mid. Abed gets to pick up the kill as well, so he bounces back a bit in that storm. You still have a slight lead here for TnC at around 1k. Most of that is riding on Armel, but you are still getting some gold out here on the side of Team Dog, although In Your Dream is fairly far forward. So be a bit careful. Blade Mail is flying out, so you can find steady farm, and pings are coming out from Gabbi, but there's no backup for Ice.
He's playing this Enigma so well. Just such an annoying kind of hero. Any hero you give Ice, he's just going to annoy the hell out of the enemy. Gabbi, he's still farming great on the troll. It's like Ice just won't leave him alone. He's going to start working towards that mech again. Just the standard kind of build up on the Enigma. He is going to require In Your Dream to get a bit more farm up on the Spectre, but now he has the Blade Mail up, which means he is set to escalate. And of course, Abed on the Storm is just behind In Your Dream in net worth. The unspoken hero of TnC, though, is going to be Armel on the DP. He's very close to picking up that Yule Scepter. Obviously helped out in getting that top tier 1 tower. Now poor old Arfu is going to roll into an invisible target. He's going to try and make the run, but TnC is going to chase him down. They have the silence, but the arrow does not connect. But the Crypt Swarm will from Armel. They get another nice little pick off there for the DP. And now a quick Moonlight Shadow out. As bot lane, KP is going to try and make the jump onto Ice. Ice is going to go for the TP. The stomp is not going to make it in time. And Ice, quick thinking there with that TP, is going to be just fine to get out.
Yeah, just managing to again stall some movement out of the door.
Their battle trance, he wanted that ensnare. He does not get lucky though. He just needed that one initial ensnare onto Abed, but the game would not give it to him.
Not finding it this time around. Abed, of course, playing on the edge as well, and trying to just find this farm. Overall, both teams just trying to maximize their farm efficiency right now. You are giving some space out to In Your Dream. He's clearing out the stacks as you'd expect with the Blade Mail. Of course, Ice is just trying to work that bot lane and help In Your Dream as well. Because of the shared farming space, though, that does mean Ice's timings is not going to be as hot, mainly because In Your Dream doesn't flash farm as fast as the troll in Battle Fury. Speaking of that troll, Gabbi still waiting for his Perseverance to be out, so he's not farming as fast as he'd want as well, but Team Dog have smoked up his tree.
Scanning.
Try and make something happen.
Radiant's middle tower is
They're not bringing Ice along. They don't have the black hole anyway, but it was up in 5. Instead, they spun out Febby. They're just going to go for the easy pick-off onto the Elder Titan, but Armel is going to be right behind them. Febby is going to die. Now the Haunt in. They want to try for Armel, it seems. Your Dream does come in. Eventually, leaves it. Bother sticking around. Does actually haunt back to the bot lane. Just the last second, it seems. And well, it's only going to be one kill coming out here for Team Dog. No. Top arrow is going to be there, perfectly timed onto Abed, and that's a massive pick. Great combo there from Armel and TnC. Does definitely pay off when you get that Storm Spirit.
Yeah, and that's a good Yulet's reveal from Armel, ensuring that Abed now is going to have to be a bit wary. The Yulet's into silence is very potent. The Yulet's into arrow as well. That does mean he can't be as offensive as he'd like to be. There's a smoke now here as well from TnC. They want to keep going.
Radiant's bottom
They
tower
do.
is under attack.
Gonna roll away, but he kind of rolls into them. KP gonna come from the side, gets the Pit of Malice off, and now got the stop, but it's not going to be quite enough. In fact, Arbit is going to zip back in after Armel. The Dark Rift immediately coming out from KP to ensure they get out safely. Arbit wants to kick away, but he can't get it. But Bebby was left behind. I don't think they realize he's there, as the Moonlight Shadow is still active. Bebby is just going to stick around for a nice quick stomp out. Doesn't connect on Arbit anyway. Still a nice Dark Rift away from KP. Going to ensure that Armel is going to remain safe.
Yeah, it's a good play. It stalls out some time. It's time in your dream and Gabbi are using it to farm equally, although you are seeing Gabbi really start to pull ahead even without that Battle Fury. Just much faster going through the camps, and he does finish the Battle Fury anyway, as I say that. So farm acceleration going to kick up here for Gabbi. You need to kind of make in your dream work, although
Well, Pit of Malice is going to catch him out a second time, but they have the arrow follow-up anyway. And Arthur going to be the second unfortunate victim of that Yule's arrow combination. Out from Armel and Tim's. Pollison may get caught. KP. Well, nice Pit of Malice just on the edge there on Pollison. It's not going to be long enough, but maybe if this arrow connects, would have been, but they will not connect it. It looks like TnC have found a double stack in the jungle. They'll happily just give that over to KP. More than happy to take that off the hands of Team Dog. And Polison's still playing with fire here. Stomp does connect. Arrow is going to be there to follow up, and that is a dead Enchantress.
Really nice pickups there for TnC. Not the biggest targets to go for, but they have cleared out the top jungle. They've taken a couple of freebies as well, and they're forcing Team Dog to play a bit more passively. There is a smoke out now from Team Dog though, but the enemy team is on the opposite side, so it doesn't look like they'll be able to find anything beyond some creeps, and Abed just starts farming up. Not going to amount to much. They have this blink up on Ice. This is interesting. He rushes the blink first. Doesn't really have his mech up. Doesn't even have the BKB up as well. So a different approach for Ice in this game. We'll see if he can maximize that blink. This does mean he wants to be offensive with the black holes.
Yeah, I think what the idea is they've noticed that TnC has hit a pretty decent timing. Like, you look at the top net worth right now, and it is Armel just very closely followed by Gabbi. And it does feel as though Team Dog are lacking the team fight. So it doesn't seem like a very easy game for the Enigma this game around. So I don't actually disagree with Ice going for that blink this time. I think it is probably the way to go to try and force the game going back your way. And so unlike last game, it's much more about the Spectre, right, over the Enigma.
So it's all about getting that farm in your dream. Kind of stalled out since the Blade Mill does have his Yasha up, but he's at least maintaining a small gap between Gabbi. So Gabbi, even with the Battle Fury, isn't pulling ahead in a massive amount. Currently just about 400 gold up, which is still manageable for the Spectre. The big issue right now for Team Dog is that you need farm in your Spectre, and you need farm in your Storm, and you need farm in the Enigma. Your Enigma is going to be copying the short end of that stick, but even Abed's not having a fantastic run here. Only has the Kaya, still saving up for the Bloodstone, and beyond that, I think he's going to need a BKB this game for sure.
Absolutely.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just hiding in the trees. Bebby would have loved to spot him out there, but not going to be able to see him, and Arbed will zip away. Looks like Ice does want to finish off the BKB before they get started with that blink. Just picks it up preemptively to make sure if they need it, they have it.
Smoked up and they see Gabbi.
Big kick off, roll in, is going to be there, and they just zip straight in with Arbed and in your dream. No wasting any time. That'll be it, in your dream. Gonna horn back into the mid lane now, back onto Armel and just run away. And that is a very big pick off to get, especially when you consider how close the position ones are right now. It's going to allow In Your Dream to actually overtake Gabbi in terms of net worth. For the first time this game, They might even get this mid tower as now Zip-In once again from Arbed is going to be onto KB. They do kill off Polison. KB trying to run. Arbed doesn't really have the damage output even with the DD rune. Instead they'll try onto Febby. In Your Dream still just moving forward, but Febby's still alive. Eventually In Your Dream we'll be able to kill him off, but now Armel coming in. Does have the Spirit Siphon, and they might get this Spectre. And will. In Your Dream going a bit too far forward. Arbed seemed to have the right idea there by backing off, but the other two did not get the memo. TnC, they're rushing for the Roshan pit now.
It's going to be a really easy rush to take. They've got the Exorcism pop here from Armel. They know there's no Haunt, they know there's no Black Hole. It's super safe to go for this objective. Team Dog, you've got to reel in that aggression a bit. You've got the Spectre, you need to play the slow game, or at least match the pace of TnC. They overextend, and now they're going to be punished for it. Ice did spot out the movement, but he can't really do much. So Gabbi's got a second life, and all of a sudden, even if he was picked off in the jungle, he is back ahead on top of In Your Dream. And they do have a much more significant lead now here in TnC. 2K now, so a clear lead going the way of the Radiant. And Team Dog, well, they've got to play this waiting game. They need to wait for Abed to be big. They need to wait for In Your Dream to be big. But TnC are not going to allow them to wait in peace.
No, they are not. TnC, they're doing a great job this game. 3K net worth lead. With this draft, you still have timings to hit. You don't want to slow down too much. Just going to keep it up. CSN wise up on Gabbi. They'll probably just keep going. In fact, they'll just keep going now with the Moonlight Shadow. Ice going to be spotted out by Gabbi, and that's going to be a very valuable kill. Gabbi has very nice damage on that troll right now.
It was not done.
Take Tim's with the Starfall to get the kill, but it won't matter. As long as they get the kill, they're happy. Vector, it still just needs so much more time to be up and online. At least they'll have the Manta up soon, but they couldn't ask for it any sooner as now Gabbi's coming back in.
Has been killed.
Baby. Lover Stomp out on In Your Dream.
Dire's top tower.
Like his Astral Spirit is not really going to be able to reach anyway. They're not going to be forced to just back out and try to find another opportunity when they get the chance.
They are using this map a lot more efficiently though on the side of TnC. They have built up a good amount now. You've got the SNY running on Gabbi, and he is #1 net worth now. So definitely pulling ahead here on the side of TnC. Team Dog, it does feel greedy. Like this Tricore is just so greedy. They need to play the long game. I'd say they might want to wait 10 minutes. The 30-minute mark is when you'd probably be cleaned up here, finished up on Ice and on Abed especially, and In Your Dream. Abed does get enough space to clear a tier 2, so they get some nice gold. He is playing with fire.
Oh, In Your Dream, they spotted out the Spectre, but the slow's not going to be there. Still Armel does get the Yule Scepter off. In Your Dream trying to run. He's been stopped up. Tims jumps in. The Earth Splitter's going to be there. He pops the Blade Mail, barely avoiding it, but it is not going to be enough. He does go down. That's a massive pick off for TnC now as they go after Polison as well. Gabbi wants the last hit, gets the last hit. 4K net worth lead, a very valuable pick off. And TnC go after an objective. It looks like the mid-tier 2 tower is going to be that objective.
Radiant's middle tower is
able to find it. In Your Dream is unfortunately positioned there. Abed does have his Bloodstone almost ready to go, and it is up. So your Storm has a little bit more regen, more presence in these fights, but he still has issues being controlled up. The Ults into Silence, the Ults into Arrow is still going to be a massive issue. That just means you might want to wait for the BKB to be up on Abed before you make any sort of committal. Ice as well still lacks the gold for the recipe. So there's a lot more waiting to do here, and TnC, you're seeing the effect of their push strat. Gabbi melts towers with not much committal at all, and you get to pocket that Exorcism for a big fight.
Absolutely.
Dire's bottom tower
That
has fallen.
tier 1 bot tower does go down. Still just being very patient here, TnC. Not in too much of a rush. They're happy to just wait it out a little bit. Don't give any kind of opportunity away to Team Dog, as one mistake could mean the end of this game for them if they're not careful. You are still versing a Spectre after all. Speaking of that Spectre, they may run into her now as Gabbi with the Moonlight Shadow is going to spot him out. They are moving up towards the north, where they did also see Ice on the Enigma. Ice in the tree line, but Gabbi, he can smell him. TP away, Gabbi, can you get lucky? Oh, the first hit there comes out. Disgusting. First hit in snare. What are the chances again? Like 20% chance. 1 out of 5 chance to connect it, and he does.
1 out of 5 times. It works every time, Mike. Still, Gabbi can be very pleased with himself. They are still finding a lot off the map here. They're stalling out Ice's BKB. He's just not really comfy now doing anything. He's just trying to use a dead lane as much as possible, giving space towards Abed, giving space towards In Your Dream. He's still saving up for the Scotty on In Your Dream. Still a long ways off, not even close. Abed as well. BKB gonna be queued up, only has enough for the Ogre Axe, nothing else. Progression has slowed down, and they really just aren't as efficient right now as TnC. They just can't work the map. They've lost control of their top jungle. They only really have the triangle that's safe. Every other spot is a risk right now. And this is surprising. We were hyping up the Afu Earth Spirit, but he hasn't been able to get as much aggression past that laning phase. And that is kind of costing him here.
Abed? That was a very dangerous zip. I thought he was trying to go for a TP. I believe he misclicked. I'm pretty sure he wanted a zip TP.
Gabbi's calling him he's a busted head. He's crazy, and Abed says he was sleepy. He fell asleep, apparently. Abed actually fell asleep while hitting that, so maybe he needs a monster.
True. Someone get Abed a monster. ASAP. They're in game 4 of a grand final. Abed's falling asleep.
Zips in, walks up to the fountain.
Brings you back. He's just following what Anna does, John. That's what he's doing. He's following the Anna strategy, just trying to fall asleep in the middle of a grand final.
That's right. Still, he stalled out long enough. Ice has his BKB, so Black Hole BKB in play could be the turnaround for Team Dog if they find their angle.
The prize is mine.
Will they, though? Yeah, I'm not 100% confident in going in. They are just grouped around In Your Dream. Trying to go for the Scotty. He's going to be a while off, but he can at least afford an ultimate orb. Meanwhile, Gabbi, Basher into BKB. He's going to be feeling very confident once that BKB's up. Of course, the Bloodstone that was picked up on Armel just helps him have even more sustain in these team fights. Whether they're getting enough off the map with this Troll DP is another question entirely, but it does feel as though they are, and they might even find another Spectre-kill. Your Dream will pop the Manta and just run.
It's cautious game from both sides. TnC, they know they're ahead. They don't, as you mentioned, they don't want to give any openings, so they're just taking it slow. We'll see the next Roche respawn in about 17 seconds. Once we know that timing, that is probably what TnC is going to eye for next. Now, it is risky to take that Roche. You've got the BKB on Ice for the Black Hole. You've even got a BKB on Afu. Again, stalling out to get their pause force in a spot where they can make something happen. And that should allow some angles here for Afu. It is a long Roche as well, full 3-minute respawn. So it's on the longer side, and that just means TnC gets to farm for 3 more minutes.
I mean, he's going to be able to farm up the Eye of Scotty pretty darn quick at this rate on the Spectre. It's going to be a very nice feeling. Remainers 5 grouped up, going into the Radiant jungle. Everyone being very, very cautious about their positioning, as they will try for the outpost take. Looks like Afu's going to be able to sneak that one away. TnC. They're just happy hanging out in their triangle. I believe they are both just waiting for the next Roshan. unfortunately for TnC, it is still going to be another 2 minutes, so it is a long timer.
Just
Not really going to be able to get a quick Roshan while they have this big advantage.
just a patience game for both sides. Is allowing some catch up, but the gap is growing wider here for TnC. 9k up now. I have to say, I appreciate that In Your Dream still holds on to this shared tango. Like, he treasures it. It's a gift from Ice. Just keeps it in the backpack. That's a good luck
Throw it
charm.
out, John. Good luck charm. Very nice stuff.
My way.
Everyone else just, you know, back to farm. I mean, they don't have the same thing on TnC, obviously. Gabbi's a man of business right now. I don't need to waste any slots. I've got too much farm going on.
Got this branch, so
Someone else's branch, though, John.
it looks like his branch, unfortunately.
Guarantees a good game, though.
That's true.
Are scanned.
One positive.
Smoke
They
out
do
here from Dog. They scanned out the Roche, but there's no Roche, and it does pop out, so not sure if the smoke will lead to anything here.
Well, Fu's going to casually roll in. Could go after the courier if he wants, but the smoke hasn't broken yet. So they might be able to still get something out of this. But the problem is TnC is continuously just holding this high ground on the Radiant Triangle. And you just can't go up that high ground without risking your whole team getting wiped out. They haven't got the vision there either, so it's very, very tough to go up there. So you can afford for vision, but it's not how you want to use it.
Nah. Really awkward sentry ward drop there from Afu as well. It was spotted out. They knew someone was smoked up, which meant that TnC was just going to group up and wait for something to pass, and they are moonlit up now.
They are underneath the sentry ward, though. It's going to make it a little bit hard to initiate here for KB, but he does block off that pathway. Almost daring them to try and come in after him as he goes for the outpost now. They do jump in now with the Midnight Pulse, just trying to burst out the Unlord on KB. It is going to go down, and perhaps they overestimated how strong they were as the black hole now comes out. Oh, Gabbi, he ran into the black hole. He will be alright. Armel does die, however, Gabbi's going to have to try and fight this one out for the team. They will go after Arthur, take down the Earth Spirit. On to In Your Dream, he pops the Blade Bell, but it is going to be nowhere near enough. So much damage on the Troll Warlord right now. Brought back on KB as Arbed. That's a very cheeky zip TP, sir. Very, very cheeky indeed, and he did not get the bounty he wanted.
It's a costly fight to lose. They got impatient. The Roche respawns. Second Roche of the game, looking like it will go the way of TnC. No black hole here to interrupt. Ice is keeping eyes though. So they know the Roche is going. Maybe we see Abba try to zip. He's sort of close by. Could try for a steal, but it is risky.
Courier's coming in. Don't be worried about this, and it looks like they got the Aegis on Gabbi. The cheese was on Paulson's courier, so Paulson gets something.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize for Team Dog, so they could just hand that to Abed. Once the courier respawns, it's going to be nice on your Storm. He is inching closer towards his BKB as well, Abed, and once you've got that, I think it will fix a lot of your issues in going into these fights. You are still facing up against an 18 deficit. Gabbi is going to find your stacks as well. So the farm on this troll just grows bigger and bigger. Very close towards picking up that Abyssal as well. In fact, it's done. So Troll Abyssal, it's ready. He's just ready to rip through. And Team Dog still don't have a clear answer. They got a good black hole. Wasn't enough there.
Was not. I mean, you say good black hole, it landed on one and Gabbi ran into it. I don't know, I feel like you need a much bigger black hole than that to turn this game around, for now at least. Like Arbet's zipping across the map again. Is going to TP back to the fountain. Your Dream is being bodyguarded by our Fu right now. Sure that nobody can go after the Spectre without his permission. Gotta say, I mean, Gabbi's Troll, even at this stage of the game, up against the Spectre, he seems to be hitting so darn hard. It just doesn't feel like the Spectre's as big of a late game powerhouse as bot lane Paulson. He's gonna get caught out by Armel and Tims, and very slowly but surely will die, and does. Little pick up there for Armel.
Yep, they did manage to force the BKB out from Gabbi with the zip around of Abed, and he does hand the tip over to Gabbi for that. So they waste the charge in exchange for the support. Not a good monetary trade, but certainly helps them find some angles as the charge is going down. I think the issue here when you're pointing out with In Your Dream feeling squishy, he doesn't have enough items. The gap between In Your Dream and Gabbi is about 6k gold. That's one major item that Gabbi has that you don't have in In Your Dream. He also is lagging behind in levels. He's level 20 on the spec, which is nice, but Gabbi's at level 23, so there's a major gap in EXP spikes, and it just makes it a lot easier to manage the Spectre.
Holding down that Spectre right now as we were speaking there, John, but they aren't going to make the jump in. Back to that die triangle, back to just farming up a little bit, but TnC eventually will pop that smoke. Aeon Disc now even up onto KP to make sure he kind of has his own secondary line, making it that much harder to go through the Underlord. Armel will go up to the top lane, try to scout out if he can find someone there, but nobody's going to be around that tree line. That Crypt Swarm is such a low cooldown.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
1.8 seconds.
Yep, that's the with the level 20 talent and the quickening charm. Yeah, that's a it's like a machine gun.
It's a little bit silly, John. I'm not gonna lie. How often you can spam this? I guess it's not that powerful. It's very good at D push though.
It's pretty funny to watch. Either way, it's just constantly shoving it out. Look at those free creeps from the Eidolons. Ice got microed him and will pull them back, but you are facing issues here still for Team Dog. Triangle's invaded, their jungle's still not the safest. Gabbi's got the DD.
Gabbi, roll in, Arfu, kickback is nice onto the high ground. They could get through the Aegis, but no, the BKB out from Gabbi is going to ensure he denies them that right. Into Arfu now, he's been rooted up. Tim's not going to go for the arrow. We'll wait out the BKB of Arfu. Close call there for Gabbi. He could have lost that secondary life, but it's not going to be the case. Just nice plays out from TnC. They just continue dominating the map. It's a very, very slow game, but the longer this goes on, the more farm Gabbi and Armel get. No reason to rush for them.
Yeah, they're just able to build up at a really good pace. At the least, Team Dog does have this BKB up on Abed. He's saving up for his Ags next. So once you have this AoE Vortex, things become a lot better for Team Dog. And you start to line up towards that late game vision you have with these heroes. I think the one boon for Team Dog is that their tier 3 stand. They haven't been under any pressure yet for the tier 3, so TnC haven't managed to really eke out anything with his Aegis, as it does expire on Gabbi. But Gabbi, for his part, is saving up for the Silver Edge. So you're going to have the break to deal with a Spectre. In Your Dream is not going to be reflecting as much damage as you'd want, as he'd reflect no damage with Dispersion broken off. So you got to watch those timings that Gabbi's going to be picking up. And he is still under no threat. He's just left alone. Does pick up the Reaver first, so maybe going for a, I don't know, Satanic first, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like it. Flying out. There it is.
Very nice. Yeah, the Solar Crest now even up on Tim's, just making it that much harder to get through the life of Gabbi. Sounds like a movie. In Your Dream. Such a slow process now for the Spectre. He is holding it to 4.2k. Has to use the Manta to dodge out that arrow coming in from Tim's. While we're waiting, by the way, John, how are you feeling in that Barong right now? Because it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
You
it's all right.
You feeling the heat, sir?
It's okay. It's actually not too bad. It's a cool night. In the afternoon, it was rather warm, but now it's all right. It's chilly. How are you doing, Santa?
It's a very hot night tonight, John. I'm dedicated, is all I can say. Moonlight Shadow is out. TnC, they want to try and find a pick-off for themselves. They are not running towards any hero, though, so this Moonlight is going to be more of a let's relocate to the left side of the map and take over the other side of the jungle. We'll give their triangle back for a bit. There's no creeps there anyway. However, your dream. Ice gonna jump in. Black hole is gonna be there. They're trying to burst out Gabbi, but he got the BKB off in time. I don't think they have enough. Gabby's gonna turn around now with the Abyssal Blade. Back on Ice. He'll get one. And now, well, the Spectre. She really is not that tanky, John. In your dream's gonna die. Pulse has gone as well. Arfu tries to roll in onto TnC, but that was not the idea. They will lose a fourth hero. The only person left was Arbit. But the buybacks do fly out. The whole team had buybacks ready to go.
Dire's structures are fortified.
In your dream, the only one to not buy back yet. They don't have Black Hole though. How do you defend this? Arthur is going to kick Gabbi back. The Vortex out of Arbit. Maybe they get Gabbi. And they do. The Dire, the one to claim the kill is Arbit. He gets another. Onto TnC now. They need everything they can get. They'll go on to TnC Marana. They will get him as well.
Ooh.
And overall, I mean, you had to commit, I believe it was 3 buybacks on the side of Team Dog. But that's the first real team fight they've won in about 30 minutes. So I'd say you may be happy about that.
You're definitely happy. You managed to get some good punishment out. Finally killing off Gabbi just makes that swing pretty worthwhile. You are down buybacks. You can see because of the buybacks flying in as well, the gap has widened to 22k.
Tower is under attack.
Really, I mean, that felt really hasty from Ice. Like he was getting itchy fingers from sitting around. It does cost them, but I guess they salvaged the situation. They could find this last tier 1 up top, but the Fortify does pop in. They've got some space to farm up their tier 4 items, which is the big one, as if they didn't find those kills, they'd be stuck in your base. So they do find at least that coming in. In your dream has, what's he queuing up? He's got the Sacred Relic queued up. It looks like a Nullifier is going to be the name of the game here for a spec. We'll see if it does pay off, but he's still feeling really squishy. This is a level 23 Spectre. Not many items flying in, just the Scotty Manta plus Blade Mail. Progression sort of stalled out. We're going to have to see something pay off here. Abed is about 50 gold off his Ags. So once you have his Ags up, Abed should be able to get control there. Yeah, it's flying out now. Now he just needs to not die as he has no buyback.
Is under attack.
Very true. It seems like they're going to have time to farm up that buyback. Or I say that, Roshan is up in 10 seconds. So maybe he doesn't. However, you've got a double black hole on Ice. You've got the mini black hole on Arbed now. So a lot of things to be very worried about if you are TnC. And even though you've got this 19k net worth lead, you lose another team fight. I can almost guarantee that's going to be halved straight away. Still TnC, they're going to get started on the Roshan. They want to try and rush this ASAP. Smoke will be popped around Gabbi. Team Dog, it looks like they're not even going to bother trying and contest this. They are going to just go for those tier 4 items while they can and maybe farm up those buybacks. That is going to be an Aghanim's Blessing though, that will go to Armel. Happily take that for himself. But look at this, John. Arbed, he got a timeless relic now. So
Yep.
everything lining up very nicely.
Oh. Yeah, he was playing poke with Gabbi as well, but this does mean so much more value with that Ags pickup. Gonna have to see if the impact's gonna be there as Moonlight Shadow's out from TnC and they are hungry for blood now.
That they are. Even in your dream with that Penta-edged sword up on the Spectre, gonna be feeling quite nice. Moonlight Shadow from TnC, not really gonna find anything, but well, now for TnC, it's a matter of what you do this game. So it feels like the game has become infinitely harder with that refresher orb on Ice and with the Ags on Arbit. It's basically how they lost game number 3. They're going to Dark Rift up towards the top lane, and it looks like they might be ready to try and make a high ground push happen with this Aegis. With the Axe Blessing on the DP. However, Arthur rolling in. It looks like they can go on to Armel. The Black Hole going to be committed. Armel, he's just going to die. Gabbi is there with the Abyssal Blade. After Ice, another Black Hole going to come out, though it's not going to be enough. Gabbi does take him out. Onto In Your Dream. They get the Spectre as well. No buyback from Arbit. Comes in for a Vortex, but they don't have the damage output. Arthur going to keep the Magnetize going. Bebby dropping low, but he is going to be okay. Back to the fountain for him. Meanwhile, Arthur is caught out now by Armel and is going to die. and everything is going to be just
Dire's
fine
top tower is under
for the
attack.
side of TnC. Is now with 3 heroes down with that buyback. They should be able to get
Dire's
Megas
top
up
tower
and
has
probably
fallen.
just finish the game off, and they are.
Dire's top
They're going to
barracks
try.
are under attack.
It's going to be a very hard defense with just your Storm. He's going to go for the creep wave for the backlines, but he's been caught out. Arrow does connect. The tips do also come out. A Divine brought out by Gabbi, but the GG's been called. Abed's had enough of Game 4, and we are officially, for the first time in BTS Pro Series history, going to a game.